it's Shel from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be making this birthday shaker card using the Kindred Stamps Card Basics die set and the Concord and 9th Happy Balloons die set. I wanted to show you that you don't need anything specific to create a shaker card, and you also don't need to use foam tape. I didn't use any foam tape, I used pop dots, but not for the shaker elements. I'm just showing you all of the die cut pieces that I cut out, and I'll talk a little bit more about them as we start to assemble the card. I cut out pieces from both of those die sets. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be working on the balloon. So that piece that I'm showing you right there is part of a pull from a gel press, and the one on the right is actually just from a marbled piece of paper that I had left over. I don't know why I didn't cut the balloon out of the same thing, but I didn't, and I wanted to make it look a little bit more like the gel press because it was a little bit too blue. So I decided to take my ink blending tools and just use the ink that was left on it and just go over both of those pieces to make them a little bit more pink and purple. Then I started on my background, and I cut that background piece from the Kindred Stamps Card Basics die set. It is the rectangle piece that's in there. I taped it down to one of the Honeybee birthday stencils. This one is the birthday candles stick stencils, and there's also a birthday candle flame stencil. It's actually a pack of 3. It's layering. The 2 that I'm using are layering, and the third one has both the flames and the candlesticks together. So I'm going to be using Distress Oxide in Picked Raspberry and Wilted Violet to ink up the sticks part of the stencil. And then I'm actually going to put the flame over top of it, and I'm going to be using the opposite color. So if the stick is pink, the flame will be purple and vice versa. Now the trick to lining these stencils up, there is a guide on there. It actually shows you kind of right as you can kind of see this the etched outline there. So I just made sure that the left piece of my cardstock matched up with it. But you can see there's writing on the right hand side. You want to make sure that that's facing in the exact same direction. It makes it so much easier to line up. I just realized that today, so I'm probably really late to the party on that, but it makes it lining it up so much easier rather than trying to guess which side or which way the stencil goes. So once I've inked that up, I'm going to take it up and put it off to the side, and we're going to work on the blend. So I actually took a bunch of blends from Sparkle Blends and put them together. So you're going to see me picking out some of them, and I actually end up getting too much. So I'm using my Marvy Jewel Picker to pick out some of the blends. The first one that I used, I believe this one was Sweet Treats. I used Sweet Treats, Precious Girl, Unicorn Chill, and Clearly in Love. And you'll just see me going through some of the blends and just kind of picking things out. Now, this is Unicorn Chill. Some of the pieces that I picked out were actually a little bit too big for the well. I probably could have done 9 or 10 layers of the pink, which I'll show you in a minute. But I did not. So some of the pieces actually had to be taken out, and I put too much in there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep this blend in this box. It is a mixture of all of the blends, and I will just leave it in there because I am sure that I will be using this color combination again pretty soon for a shaker card. So this is the third shaker card that I've ever made. The second one, you'll actually see the video for that in a little while. I have to wait till the person who I sent the card to gets it to do the video. So off screen, I stacked together 5 of the circles. Now you're gonna see I put the 6th circle on, and then we are going to put on the acetate. Now this is left over from a stencil packaging. I just cut the ring out that you see on the screen. I use that die and cut it out from the acetate from there. Then I'm going to press down just to make sure that it's sealed really, really well. And I actually got some glue on the side. I do wipe that off because you don't want any glue around any of the edges. I probably should have also taken my dryer sheet and run it in there, but I forgot to do that this time. And then I'm going to put one more ring on top of it. That way it hides the rough edges on the acetate. and it just gives it a little bit. This doesn't give it any more dimension. It's the ones underneath that'll give it dimension, and I probably, like I said, I probably could have cut out a couple more rings and put them underneath of that. Next time I'll do that. Oh, after the rings are secured, I'm actually going to put my sparkle blends in there. And this is when I realized that, oh my goodness, I picked out too many. I was loving the colors and I was loving going through the blends and kind of creating my own blend. But I realized that when I put the piece of paper on, there was so much in there and some of them were so big that I actually had to take some of them out. So I actually, off camera, I will start to take them out. And I probably took about half of it out of there. You'll see once we come back in frame. There you go. See, that half, I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to close that up and leave that for another shaker card. Now I'm using my Be Creative Honey Bee Glue to glue the backing on. A lot of people will use, not wet glue, just like tape here, but I decided I didn't want to do that. I wanted to use the Be Creative glue. Now I am getting ready to assemble my card using that same Be Creative glue on the back of this piece. So this is from the Concord and 9th Happy Balloons dies, and there is a backer piece which you see to the left hand side, and then a piece that has Happy written in it. I thought that was really cute. You can just cut out the balloon, and there's a coordinating stamp set that you can put patterns on. So you could actually have a pattern behind it. You could cut it out of pattern paper. You can do a lot of different things with this. Oh, I'm now re-gluing a spot. There was one spot that was not, didn't seem to be glued down enough. I'm putting glue on the back of it and then getting ready to put it on the center of the card. I'm still each time just making sure that the shaker pieces actually shake. There you go. I just keep doing that because I'm afraid that one time it's going to get stuck and then I'm going to have to take it apart before I assemble the card. Now I'm laying it out how I think I want it to look, and I'm going to use that same honeybee glue to glue down the pieces. This star is from the Kindred Stamps Card Basics die set. There are a couple different, I think there's 3 different sizes. This is the middle size. There's one with the stitching around it, there's this one, and then there's a smaller one. Here's where I'm going to use foam tape. This is the leftover from the pop-up foam dots. And I'm just cutting a piece to go over top of the balloon to kind of make it almost the same height as the shaker piece. I do want it to go over top of it. And I did not glue the balloon down at all. You could do that, or you could put a smaller profile pop dot underneath of it, but I didn't have anything, so I just left it. And then I cut out the string from some black cardstock, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the end, put it on the bottom of the balloon, and then we're also going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom, right there at the bottom of the card. You can glue it down to the shaker part as well, but I didn't worry about that. It was glued in place pretty well. We're also going to cut some pop dots for the bottom left-hand side of that balloon and pop that one up as well. I actually go back in later on and put another piece of pop foam tape or whatever, pop dots, whatever you want to call them, underneath of it because there was a little piece that was sticking up. So I cut that off, and then I'm going to use that part of the string to do the string for that little balloon because I only need a very, very tiny piece for that, and I wasn't going to cut a whole other one, especially when I had that left over. So I'm going to glue that on, and the front is almost done after I glue that on. I thought I was going to cut it off, but I actually waited for it to dry, and then I put it on the I think I put it on the card base first before I actually cut that off. I didn't want to cut it off, and I didn't want the string to move. There you go. And I am now taking that honeybee glue and putting it all over the back of the shaker element piece, and I'm going to glue it down to my card front, and then I'm going to glue it down to my card base. Oh, I'm really enjoying making these shaker cards, and the sparkle blends are so much fun. I love combining the blends. I love looking through them and picking out pieces from each and every one. I do have a hard time using the sparkle blends, but I do have to say that I'm pretty proud of myself that I used a couple different blends in the shaker cards that I've done. For some added shine on the balloon, I took my Spectrum Noir clear sparkle pen and I'm just going over all of the balloon. I thought that it needed a little something more. I was going to use some glossy accents, but that's a big area to use glossy accents on. And I thought that it just needed a little bit of shine. I didn't want it to stand out too much, but I wanted it to have some sparkle because of the sparkle blends. There's so much shine in it, and the balloon looked a little dull to me. I also probably should have done a highlight on it, done like a little white highlight on it, but I didn't think of that until now. So I hope you guys are enjoying learning how to make a shaker card without really using any foam tape other than underneath some of the elements. So no foam tape needed on the shaker element. I'm also using the Spectrum Noir pen on the other balloon. And again, shaking it just to make sure the pieces still shake. So I'm actually really happy with the way this came out. So the next thing we're going to do is I cut a little banner piece out of the Kindred Stamps Card Basics die set and use a Concord and 9th stamp set to stamp birthday in the Wilted Violet Distress Oxide. And glued that on, and then the inside the sentiment comes from the Rabbit Hole Designs Sassy Birthday stamp set, and it says, "You are officially looks good for your age old." So this is going to my sister. She will be 37, and I just thought that it was very, very cute. So that's the card. Now I'm going to show you the cards that the girls made. This is the Brooklyn's card for her mom. So she used the Ohuhu markers. And then here's Madeline's card. She used the Ohuhu markers as well. And she wrote a little message to her mom inside. They were super cute. And then the next card I'm going to show you is Nora's. She made this for my sister, who is her godmother, and she's wanted to do this camera for so long. She's been begging me, so she came over this week and we made those cards. So hopefully you enjoyed the birthday cards in this video. Here are 2 quick pictures of it. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below, and I'll see you again real soon in another video. Bye!